This quiet, peaceful place, located in Bowie, Maryland, is called Allen Pond. Once a year, it becomes the meeting place for British car owners and enthusiasts. The event is known as British Car Day. Owners arrive in their MGTCs, MGTDs, MGAs, MGBs, Triumph TR2s, 3s, Triumph TR4s, Triumph 250s, Triumph TR6s, Triumph TR7s, and Triumph TR8s, XK120s, Jaguar XK140s and 150s, in fact, just about every model. Austin Healey, Land Rover, Morris 1000, Morgan, Nash Metropolitan, Rolls-Royce, new and old, TVR. Vendors arrive in trucks and vans to set up their displays. Everything from wheels to hard-to-find parts. And the cars keep coming and coming by the hundreds. Some of the cars are offered up for sale. British Car Day offers the opportunity to pick and choose, and buyers abound. But most of the cars come in just for show. Many clubs are present. Not only can a spectator compare, but valuable information is available about particular models. Let's listen.
In your case,
we walked from group to group and spoke with owners.
Could you tell us, first of all, year and model of the car?
Yes, it's a 1974 Lotus Europa Twin Cam Special.
they're a lot of fun. This car's got 75,000 miles on it. I've got a second one that's got 106,000 miles on it, and we just enjoy them.
When I first saw this car, I was sitting out in the field and had a tree growing up through it, and I went over and gave it a real funny grin, and they grabbed me with a butterfly net and dragged me away. She says, I want him committed. He's going to try to fix it.
The car's a 1946 Mark VI Bentley with a coach-built body, coach-built by Freestone and Webb. Freestone and Webb's no longer in business.
And how long have you had the car?
I've had the car 13 years. It was newly restored just before I bought it, and I have kept it just as well, as good condition as I could. I've driven it about 40,000 miles.
How many miles on it? There's a fellow across the way there that's got 138,000 on his. Are you beating that?
No, I'm just turning over 100,000.
This is a 1947 drop head that belongs to Don Buxton. Unfortunately, Don's not here at the moment. Perhaps you could tell us a little about this car.
Okay. This would be very typical of what anyone would see in a Jaguar if they were looking at what we now call pre-war Jaguars, because the pre-war types were all a squarish type, very large. The large headlights, which you see on the front, which are very indicative of that era. And of course now, not very many of them exist in this country because, of course, there were few brought over before the war.
I'm retired from Chrysler Corporation, and I used to be with the division that handled the Simca and the Sunbeams. And when they bought into Roots and then became the North American distributor of it, I was the regional manager on the East Coast. So we always were furnished cars, and this was one of my Tigers that I had. In fact, this is the last one that we had. And so I've kept it all this time. She's original.
Oh, super.
Quite.
How did the Tiger come into being? What was the history to it?
It started with Ian Garrett, who was a sales manager out on the West Coast. His dad was running the racing department for Roots in England. So Ian was having some competition because we only had Alpines, four-cylinder Alpines, and he was looking for something that would be competitive with the Jaguars and what have you. So he got together with one of the directors, one of the Roots people in the family, and they took $10,000 and set that aside so that they could get a hybrid made. So they visited showrooms and found out that the engine that they wanted was a Ford V8 that would fit into an Alpine chassis. So they went to Carroll Shelby and asked him to shoe it into the car. And it took him a month, and he came up with the car with a Ford 260 in it.
Okay.
And so he shipped that to England, and Lord Roots took a look at it, took it for a ride, and he says, hell, let's go with it. So there were 7,000 made from 1964 through 67, and there were 3 series, Mark I, 1A, and Mark II.
The award-winning cars are starting to assemble at the stage area, so we must quickly glance at a few of the many cars still to be seen.
This is a 1959 Austin Healey. Chris, sure looks good. You got to fight Dad for the who gets the top prize today, huh? Next, we have a second place in the Austin Healey 100, 4, and 6, and 3,000 class. This goes to John McElroth. This is a 1960 Austin Healey 3000. He completed a 5-year restoration in 1988. He took the first in the Washington Congressional Concourse and the first at Sully. I saw that car at the Congressional Concourse, and it sure was nice. Well done, John. Now, I go home, shimmer and shake all over the place in my Morgan, and he's driving in class. That is a bit of a difference. And we have a mystery car. This is a 3rd place Morris. Sorry, 1st place Morris. Joe Jarasek. 1966 Morris. All right, very pretty. Thank you. Next we have a 3rd place in the Austin Mini class. This is a 1959 Morris Mini, owned by Pete Reynolds. 3rd place. Thanks, Pete. You can't take the girls with you, Pete. Sorry. I know. Those Mini guys, you can never trust them, you know. Here we have a 1st place in the Metro class. It's a 1960 hardtop, owned by Donald E. Wine. This was restored in 1980 by Donald himself. 1st place. Absolutely pretty. Well done. Thank you.